The room was wrong. Too clean. Too quiet. My duffel bag was gone. Locker stripped. Bed made with hospital corners I didn't remember folding. The walls felt farther apart, like they were backing away from me. I stood there, helmet still under my arm, flight suit unzipped to the chest, breathing slow, measured. I'd learned how to keep it that way. Footsteps. Running. Then the door slammed open. The platoon leader froze when he saw me, his face drained of color. "Sir." A pause that lasted a second too long. "We need to evacuate now." I waited. Let the silence do the work. He swallowed. "But you suspended the only pilot yesterday." The words echoed like rotor blades failing midair. I thought of my father-in-law's voice, loud, public. "You're suspended until you apologize to my son, a private." The laughter, my wife's eyes, fixed on the floor. I'd said okay. Now the base was on alert, and suddenly, I was valuable again. Something inside me shifted. Not anger, recognition. The night before, the mess hall had been loud with bad jokes and cheap beer. Rank didn't matter there, or so I thought. My father-in-law had been drunk on authority, second lieutenant, temporary command, a small man wearing borrowed power like a costume. My wife sat beside him, too still, too quiet. Her brother, fresh uniform, private stripes sharp and new, had brushed past me, clumsy, intentional. I corrected him, calmly, professionally. That's when her father stood up. He'd made it a spectacle, yelling, pointing, performing. "You're suspended until you apologize to my son." Everyone laughed, because it was absurd, because they didn't know. I looked at my wife, waiting for her to meet my eyes. She didn't. That was the first cut. Small, precise. Later, in our quarters, she said nothing. Didn't ask how I felt, didn't ask what would happen. She turned away from me in bed, her phone face down on the nightstand. I stared at the ceiling, counting breaths, counting doubts. She changed lately. Late nights, sudden smiles that didn't reach her eyes, conversations that stopped when I entered the room. I'd told myself it was stress, deployment pressure, family loyalty. I'd been lying to myself longer than she had been lying to me. I didn't confront her. I never do things without knowing the ending. The next morning, suspended, I had time. Time sharpens suspicion. I checked phone records. Military plans make everything traceable if you know where to look. Frequent calls, her father, her brother, and one number I didn't recognize. Late nights. Always late nights. I watched her from a distance, the way she smiled at messages she didn't share, the way she flinched when I entered rooms unexpectedly. I requested maintenance logs, quietly. My aircraft, the only one certified for night extraction in that terrain, grounded. On paper, for disciplinary review. In reality, because someone wanted me small. I ran simulations in my head. What if I wasn't there? What failed without me? The answer kept coming back the same. Everything. I ordered a DNA test, not because I wanted to, because the doubt had already won. When the results came back, I didn't open them immediately. I already knew what they'd say. Still, my hands were steady when I did. The paper felt thin, like it might cut me if I handled it wrong. It wasn't my child. The room didn't spin. My heart didn't race. I'd grieved already. This was just confirmation. That night, I placed the report on the table between us. Didn't say a word. She looked at it, then at me. Her mouth opened, closed, collapsed inward. "It was before," she whispered, a lie wrapped in a half-truth. I watched her break, really watched. Her father had promised her protection. Her brother had needed advancement, and I had been inconvenient. She cried. I didn't move. I felt empty, and lighter for it. The evacuation order came down an hour later. Sirens, chaos, fear. They needed me. I walked into command with the suspension papers in my pocket, placed them on the desk. "I've been reinstated," I said, not a question. My father-in-law wouldn't meet my eyes. He'd been overruled, quietly. Before takeoff, I sent one message. To my wife. I know everything. I flew the mission perfectly. Every maneuver exact, every life saved. When I returned, I didn't go home. I handed command my resignation, effective immediately. They protested, promised promotions, silence, cover-ups. I smiled, just once.
I left before dawn. No goodbyes, no explanations. The truth had already done its work. Betrayal doesn't hurt when you finally understand it. It clarifies. I wasn't suspended that day. I was freed. And as the base disappeared in my rearview mirror, I realized something cold and final. They never took my power. I just let them borrow it.